Hello and welcome to all the Web3 enthusiasts out there. This is Max speaking, and welcome to the new exciting episode of Synopsis. Actually, this one is going to be special since it's devoted to one of the most beautiful spring holidays all over the world. And please welcome our today's guest, Gracy Chen, CEO of Bitget. Hello, Gracie. How are you today?
Hi, thank you, Max, for having me. I'm great. I'm actually in Denver for East Denver, so glad that this whole week I'll be speaking to lots of great builders and holders and top VCs, etc. in the space.
Well, thank you for joining in and finding some time to record this episode
No
in
problem.
your schedule. So, we have a bunch of questions prepared today, mostly focused on, of course, your initiative of blockchain for her, but also we'll speak for sure about the plans and some results of BitGet. I always like it because the numbers and statistics there are just crazy. And if you don't mind, let's begin with the first question.
Sure. Yeah, let's go ahead.
Well, to warm up, let's start with actually those big numbers. And could you please tell us the key achievements of BitGet in 2024?
Okay, sure. Yeah, so 2024, we've had lots of achievements. We grow our user base from about 20 million in January of 24 to 100 million in December. And that's nearly, four times or five times the user number. And this growth was definitely accompanied by lots of other metrics increase, such as trading volume, such as our spot market increase, derivative market, and it's just basically, I guess, a whole teamwork, hardworking, and lots of strategic approaches and competitive offerings, and user-centric innovations that help us grow where we are today.
Yeah, this exponential growth is here for a reason. And I know there is a great work being done behind the scenes. And I'm currently in Vietnam, and just several days after landing here, I accidentally found myself at the local BitGet community meetup. So, yeah, there is a lot of work at all the destinations, and I'm 100% sure that those numbers are extremely realistic, and it will be increasing gradually through years. So, okay, and what about our main focus of today's discussion? So, in 2024, Bitget placed great emphasis on supporting women entrepreneurs. What initiatives were implemented?
Yeah. So we started a project called Blockchain for Her. It was launched in early 2024 and actually during the World Economic Forum in January in Davos. And later on in March, because that's, the week like where it is right now, like just a week ahead, uh, which is during the International Women's Day and the whole bunch of events happening around there. I actually personally spoke at United Nations Women Conference. It's called CSW 68, where I presented a report on women's employment in the blockchain industry, and especially highlighted the importance of supporting women entrepreneurs and supporting more female leaders. Because if you look at the hierarchy of organization or our industry, when it's just normal employees, female, male, gender is actually quite equal. But it goes when you climb the ladder and goes to the top executives, VCGPs, general partners, or project founders, etc., and including centralized exchanges CEOs, there are fewer and fewer women if you climb the ladder. And I think I'm the only female CEO among the top 10 exchanges. So these are some of the issues that we see in this industry, and hopefully we can solve, or we can at least contribute a little bit to solving that. So I hope that gender is no longer a limiting factor in, for example, investment decisions and entrepreneurship and leadership roles in top Web3 groups, etc. basically we want to bridge the gap and increase the gender ratio in these cases.
Well, I know that there is a lot of effort put on this, and no doubt that you will achieve those results that you set up for yourself. So, and could you please tell us what initiatives for supporting women entrepreneurs are planned for 2025?
Yeah, so we want to continue build on blockchain for her. For example, in 24, we've done some events. I've spoke at UN. I'll probably do the same for this year. Not decided for the UN though, especially not in the March event since it's approaching. But definitely host lots of events, especially more down to ground events where we can empower female startups and female entrepreneurs. For example, last year in Vienna, sorry, in Thailand during DEF CON end of the year, I hosted a female only VCs and entrepreneurs like pitching session. We'll probably do the same this year, and we plan to launch the Best Women Entrepreneur Award in 2025 to encourage women in business. So lots of educational programs, some more mentorship support. I've invited a few ambassadors who are top female leaders in the space to join our program and empower the community in 2024. And I want to grow that ambassadorship to in 2025. So basically around incubation, investment, educational activities, mentorship, etc., in order to drive more female women entrepreneurs.
Wow, awesome! A lot of big things are coming, and you mentioned that you must be the only female CEO among top 10 crypto exchanges. And could you please share which women do you personally consider outstanding and why?
Yeah. So if it's someone who is not in our times, who is like probably passed away or historical, I would say Maria Curie, the great female scientist. Because she survived. Well, it's a joke, but it's like half joke and half truth. I actually joked that I really loved her because she really survived in a very well very men-driven, men-dominated industry, basically science at that time. In our times, cryptocurrency industry is still a very male-driven industry. So I hope I can survive well, just like she did. But if it were someone in our times, I do like Katie Hong. Not sure if you've heard of her. She is a Stanford University law professor. She was also a board member at Coinbase. She served as a partner at A16Z as well, and now she runs the biggest female led VC, which is more than 1 billion in terms of AUM. I think when they started, they probably have more AUM now, but when they started, they had 1 billion fund raised already, and that's the largest female-driven crypto VC. So Katie Hong is definitely a leader that I personally like. I haven't met her yet, but I know I've met her team and hopefully I can have a good conversation with her. But she's personally a someone who inspires me as well in terms of her leadership and investment skills.
Wow, thank you. A very detailed question. Very interesting examples. And what you mentioned about surviving in this industry, I believe that you will not just survive here, but you will make one of the greatest contributions for the entire industry. So we'll be tracking these successes right here at the same time with you. And if, of course, I was asked this question, for sure, the first person which comes to my mind would be Gracie Chen, of course. And could you please share your career journey in this, as you mentioned, man-driven crypto industry?
Sure, sure. Yeah, so I actually formally joined the crypto industry only in early 2022 when I joined Bitget. But before that, I started investing in Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP in 2015 already. I was building on my Web2 startups in fintech and metaverse before for the previous 7 years before I joined Bitget. And then I joined Bitget as managing director, where I led lots of marketing initiatives, very external relationships, and built our user base, built our very key influencer network as well. So in mid 2024, when our previous CEO, Sandra, stepped down and she were looking for some for basically an exit because she had personal reasons and she wanted to take a break. And then the board member asked me if I wanted to be the CEO of Bitget. I was definitely thrilled and honored. I took a few days to think it through and decided to take that opportunity. I guess for the past 3 years when I'm with Biget, some of the key things that I did, um, for example, I had this sponsorship and partnership with Leo Messi. I signed him up before the World Cup, and he won the championship during the World Cup, and he also helped Biget grow our branding, especially in terms of global presence, pretty well. I built our influencer network, which is a very key driving force for Biget's growth when we acquire users and serve our users better in terms of communications with them and approaching them. Then in terms of teams, actually in 2024, I've had a few very key members joining Biget, key executives. For example, our chief legal officer, Hong En, he worked for Weber and Binance. He was ranked a top lawyer by was that Forbes or another financial media. But basically, he's a great asset to the company in terms of legal and compliance. I also had a COO Vulgar, CBO for business, Ming Ling, Lisa, and also Lawrence, who is our listing VP. A group of very talented executives joining Biget. Some of them I definitely, had some good conversations with them before they joined us and grabbed them here. So that's another, talent acquisition is another key part of our growth. Very recent case, Bybit lost 1.5 billion Ethereum being hacked, and we stepped up very, very fast, like within five hours, and send them some Ethereum, basically lend them some Ethereum to solve any short-term liquidity. Ben returned all the Ethereum to us already a few hours ago, no, probably 24 hours ago, and that's really good partnership. By partnership, I mean people consider us as peer exchanges or competitors, but I consider ourselves more like friends and important parties driving the industry moving forward. Because in my opinion, competitor is actually very, very key. That make you better. Basically, if you have someone who are, walking this journey together with you as a competitor, and they are good, they are hardworking, they have very high moral standard, and they have good products to serve the customer. It just helps driving you to do better in your job. So Bybit and Big we are in that kind of relationships. So I guess that's a very recent case that we wanted to step up for our peer exchange and hopefully, save the industry from going any from experiencing what we're experiencing maybe late 2022 and early 23 after FTX collapse. That was really a tragedy because I think, Bybit case and FTX are totally different things. So we stepped up to help Bybit.
Yeah, that's one of the most, I would say, heart-melting stories I've seen so far because yes, this Bybit case was at the beginning like something horrible, but then the news appeared that Bitget and others joined forces to support one of the key industry players, and I like how this competition is turning into something bigger, like mutual support, win-win partnerships, and this is, I would say, one of the key indicators of the uh, growth of the industry, of strengthening of it, and it's not about destroying your opponents, but sticking together. And my applause for that, and a big shout out for Bitget. And one more interesting thing I mentioned during your answer about your career journey is that you devoted a major part telling about the team and your right choices of the people you work with. So we have a lot of content already produced with Vugar, also with Alvin Khan from Bitget Wallet. So your team is really uh, professional and very experienced. So could you please share your secrets of success of choosing the right people and collecting them for a victorious team?
In terms of team building or choosing, so-called choosing the right members, I wouldn't say choose, I would say filter. What I mean by that is we do have a very concrete vision and mission and so-called values, company values that we hold at Biget. For example, user-centric is one of them, integrity, and dedication is another one of them, and also, result oriented. These are some of the key values we have at Biget. So we use this as a ruler to kind of, we'll be very upfront and tell those people who might have the ability that we acquire that, okay, these are the values that we have at Biget. And do you think that kind of echo with you? And then kind of filter the people who really echo with us to join us and drive more results and good spirits in the company and in the industry. So for example, let me just share with you how I met Lawrence, which is our listing VP, who was working at Bybit. So Lawrence has been in the industry for what, like 8 years already. He worked for some other exchanges before joining Bybit and before meeting us. So I actually went to London to meet him over a breakfast, and that surprised him because I don't live in Europe. I live in Asia at that time, and I did make that journey, not just for him, but I made my way to meet him and tell him what drives Biget. And according to him, that kind of shifted his mindset towards Biget because he didn't know us that well. When he was at Bybit, he know us as one of the competitors, but he doesn't know our value, our story, our milestones. He doesn't know Gracie from a personal level either. So conversations like that helped us get lots of talents and build a good trust and foundation between us and some new talents that we acquired. And subsequently, we realized that we are both very long-term builders. We value our industry a lot by focusing on things that are long-term focused and do the best for our users. Um, and those are, things that drove us forward. So of course, we want people who can contribute, who can bring their value, their experience, their talents to the table. But ultimately, we're looking for people who can share the value with us and hopefully be on this journey or even like run the marathon in the long term.
Well,
Does that make sense to you?
yeah. So thank you very much for sharing. And I like how in each episode we have with members of Bitget, it always comes to volumes and the concrete understanding of your goals and what you are doing, your contribution to the industry. And we see that it is a major part of the corporate culture that has its results, and they are more than viable. So
Yeah.
thank you once again for sharing.
Yeah.
Well, and we're getting closer to the end of the interview. So at this part, of course, we have to discuss some plans of Bitget for 2025. So what can you highlight and share some insights, some maybe teasers? Please go ahead.
Sure. Yeah, so looking ahead, our strategy for 25 will focus on three pillars or have been focused on three pillars. Number one is institutional and VIP clients and services. Number two is BGB and PayFi ecosystem. And number three is enhanced security and compliance. I'm just diving into each topic a little bit deeper. So since day one, since we Bitget was founded in 2018, we've been more focused on retail users. But as you know, in 24, SEC approved Bitcoin and spot ETF in the US, and there are much more institutional clients coming into industry, such as market makers. I think Citadel just announced that they are probably they are interested in being MMs for crypto industries, and then asset managers, brokers, funds, etc. And we want to offer them advanced trading tool, lower fees, and customized financial products like OTC services and lending options. So things like that are our, some of the key products and customers that we want to focus in 2025. And then PayFi, similar to the institutional clients, is a very important trend that we see in terms of cryptocurrency. Because if you look at, for example, cross-border remittance and payments, it's been there for a while. There's Swift code driving the information flow. There are lots of fintech companies, or even older than fintech companies like Mastercard, Visa, etc., to settle all those payments. But there are lots of areas that can be optimized. For example, right now, according to a report I read, I think is it Chainalysis or something else? I can send you that report link. But basically, oh, so no, I think it's World Bank. No, yeah, World Bank estimated that there is about 60% of fee and cost in terms of all the cross-border transactions. And that 66% can definitely be saved, at least partially, through blockchain and PayFi. So we want to target on the inefficiencies in the PayFi ecosystem, especially given you've met Alvin and Bitget Wallet is a very is a very well established wallets, and we have 45 million users on just wallet side. So we want to be build on what we have right now at Bitget Wallet, maybe potentially look at some other acquisitions in banks and in other ecosystem partners in order to drive the whole PayFi system. And BGB will definitely be used in those PayFi ecosystem partners as a cryptocurrency for users even for daily everyday transactions such as dining, shopping, and travel. And hopefully they can enjoy cashbacks and some other premium benefits. So this is the second pillar we're building on in 2025. And the third one, security and compliance. I don't think I need to emphasize that anymore, especially everyone cares about security and compliance a lot after FTX, after Bybit. And we are committed to do the same. We want to provide a secure trading environment and maintain our users' trust. So we've had this Bitget protection fund, and we've established proof reserve on a monthly basis. We publish all those information. Our protection fund is the second largest centralized exchanges protection funds in our industry. So these are part of the, our security foundations, and we are also secure additional regulatory licenses across some key markets, including Europe, MICA, including Africa, Latin America, and certain countries in Asia. And that's why I had Hong En joining us as the Chief Legal Officer. He and his team have lots of experience building on that. So I'll definitely share with our community more about our upcoming regulatory licenses. But I can, rest assured that there are a lot coming up.
Wow, thank you very much. Extremely detailed answer, and we see that you have concrete goals set up and have all the resources for fulfilling it. We'll be awaiting for only positive news from Bitget's side this year, and of course we'll keep tracking your success. And I do believe that we'll meet again, even maybe several times in 2025, and we'll have a chance to discuss the intermediate results and milestones achieved. So from my side, wishing you all the best on that, and I believe that everything will be achieved as planned. So
yeah, thanks.
We've came to the final traditional part of our interview. So actually, at this point, we always ask our guests to provide some piece of advice for the audience, since they have this episode as a special one. The International Women's Day is at our doorstep. So maybe you could address to our audience represented by the wonderful female watching us, and say some wishes, call to action for the at least upcoming year. So whatever you find valuable, please go ahead.
Sure. I would say, since we're celebrating the International Women's Day, I would say if it's a female audience that is watching our episode, and you want to achieve something in cryptocurrency industry or even just in your career, just forget that you are a woman. Focus on results. Focus on results. Focus on the value that you can bring, and forget about gender. So I guess that's the piece of advice that I want to give to our female audience. And if you were a male audience, I would say stop asking your female colleagues or female leaders this question. That is, how do you balance work and life? I think that's a stupid question, and actually it created a little bit more bias, because guys also have a family, guys also have kids, and why you don't ask your male leader the same question, and you always ask your female leader this question. So hopefully we want to forget about gender and focus on results, focus on building something in the long run, and create a more gender gender equal industry for all the men and women.
Well, thank you very much, Gracie. And yeah, a very inspiring ending we have, as well as the entire interview for today. So for now, that's it. Hopefully, we'll see you soon in more episodes with more details and news, big news, as we always wait from Bitget. And yeah, thank you very much for joining in today. Have a great day, night, whatever. And yes, thanks for our audience for sure for watching till the end, guys. Stay tuned, take care, happy International Women's Day to all our dear ladies watching us. And yeah, see you in more episodes. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.